I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please say that again?
No. Good morning, everyone. We are back out on the road. We're in Salina, Kansas right now. Getting ready to head about 45 minutes away. We have a pickup, picking up some tortillas, going to Hinckley, Ohio. Okay, sorry. We are going to pick up a load of tortillas, going to Hinckley, Ohio. Delivers 3 a.m. on Sunday to an Aldi, which will be a shit show because Aldis are a shit show. Really not a good rate on this load. It's my out of Denver load. One saving grace was the fact that I booked it and it was going to be a 2-pick 1 drop. I was going to pick some stuff in Denver and then have to come back or come here to get the rest, then go to Ohio. But the Denver part of it canceled, so I drove deadheaded about 400 miles empty, which was okay because the rate didn't change. So it saved me a little bit of money on diesel, which is great. Got a little rain this morning. But yeah, we're gonna take off up here. It's been a while since I made a video. There's been some short ones put out on the channel, but things are doing all right. Diesel's come down a little bit. Rates haven't moved much, but in some of the areas that I tend to run in, they've been all right, good enough. You know, you just have to realize that things are the way they are right now, and you just take the best rate you can get and go from there. Because sitting at home doing nothing does nothing, so.
Turn right on North 9th Street, then take the first right.
Gotta be out here, wheels turning, making money. I have a 1 o'clock appointment. It's, what is it, like 11:30 right now. And we have about 45 minutes to get there. We're going to a place called Tortilla King in Moundridge, Kansas. Looks like a big spot. We'll get there only about an hour early, so hopefully we can kind of get right in and get loaded. I'd like to do the bulk of this driving today, but we'll see. I gotta grease this seat. All that's
turn right at the stop sign, then take the first left.
Stayed at a Pilot here in Salina last night. It's actually a good Pilot to know about because it doesn't fill up usually ever, and if it does, there's a Petro right across the street, a Flying J right down the street. So a lot of truck parking in Salina, Kansas if you ever come through here.
Turn left on I-70
There's a 24/7 right there. I think they even have a few spots, so we got to backtrack just a little bit, not far at all, nothing to worry about. But I came out here last night so I'd be closer to pick up today. I didn't want to drive 4 or 5 hours to get to the drop point, or the pickup point. But yeah, got the truck washed yesterday, and of course it rained this morning, so the truck needed a bath. It was pretty gross. Bugs have been pretty heavy this year, so but yeah, things have been all right. A few weeks back, was hauling kind of a heavy load up in Michigan. Blew out a U-joint. Thank goodness for a small shop that was close by. Got me in, got me fixed up right away. Took a couple days because I got there later in the afternoon and when it broke, it had sheared off some bolts and all kinds of stuff, and
In
it just,
1 3/4 miles,
the guy
take exit
tried his
258
best,
on
and I
the
mean,
right to
it was a great
I-135
shop,
south.
but he couldn't get them drilled out, and by the time he did the holes, so I had to get a whole new yoke and the U-joint and stuff. Not a big deal, but they got me fixed up fast and got the load delivered and back on the road, so that was good. Got to get some new windshield wipers. But here in a mile, we're going to hit 135 south, headed towards Wichita. I love running in Kansas. It's flat for the most part. There are some hills, believe it or not, in Kansas, but the roads are really nice. It's easy to get around. There's a lot of freight, and especially coming from Denver, where there's rates in Denver. There were rates posted that were 98 cents a mile. I mean, even in bad places, 98 cents a mile doesn't work at all. That's unacceptable, really. But it is what it is. We got a load that will make some money
Take
on
exit
at least.
258 on the right to I-135
Every time I
south.
leave Denver, that's kind of my hope. Make a little bit of money. You know, I watch some other trucking YouTube channels, I do, and I watch Make Sense, and I felt so bad for that dude. He drove from Denver all the way to Kansas City, deadheaded, to try to find a decent load, and then when he got to Kansas City, there wasn't a decent load to be found, and then he talked about going to St. Louis, and it's like, man, I'll have to reach out to him. I can hook him up with something decent to get him, so he's not driving empty. But yeah, it's kind of a cloudy day, which is okay. It'll make stuff cooler a little bit. When I got the truck washed yesterday, it was so nice because I could see out the windshield perfect and everything. And literally 50 miles down the road, it was so splattered with bugs, you couldn't see anything that was happening. I mean, these windshield wipers I got suck. They said that they had, and they do, there's an extra blade on it with like little scrubbers. So it's supposed to go up and kind of scrub the bug guts and stuff that are really stuck on there. It doesn't work. It just freaking smears them. I think everything does, but it is what it is. We got, gonna head down this way, see what's what. Hopefully we get checked in and right into a door. Like I said, this is going to an Aldi, which really sucks because the lumpers at Aldi's are expensive, although I'll just call the broker and get a transfer code. Oh, holy. That trailer bent in half. Oh my God. That was a dry band that the center just gave out. Wow. Never seen nothing like that. I don't know if someone overloaded him really bad or what. That was, it would take a lot of weight to do that. But yeah, we're gonna head on down here and get checked in. I'll talk to you guys then. All right, well, 4 hours later, we are leaving the Tortilla
In
King.
3/4 of a mile, turn right
They're
on
not called Road
I-135
King
south.
because that was a ridiculous amount of time. This load's supposed to be about 38,000 pounds. There's 30 pallets back there. So we're gonna go hit up the scale and see, because it feels heavy. So we're gonna go see what this weighs. And after seeing that truck split in the center this morning, that makes me a little nervous. So we're gonna
Turn right on
go
I-135
check
south.
this out. Why am I headed south? What is that? Why wouldn't I just go back up to 70? Alright, well, I'm not following that route. We're just going to go back up to 70. I don't know what this thing wants me to do, but we're not taking a bunch of bad country roads. Take this like 40 miles right back up to 70 and we'll go that way. That's no. GPSs are great. I love this Garmin I have, but sometimes I don't get where it's coming from on things. Maybe 5 or 6 miles less going that way, but we're not going that way. I hope this isn't super heavy like I think it is. I'm kind of lucky, knock on wood, I've never been loaded to overweight. And I don't think this is overweight, but I just want to make sure that the axles are right. I have my tandems all the way forward because it's full all the way to the back. Usually that's what you got to do. So we will see. At the rate we're picking up speed, this is heavy. I got the stupid phone holder. It's one of them steely balls. When I first got it, it worked great. The phone didn't move, but now that I've had it a while, it freaking moves around all the time.
In 1 3/4 miles, take exit 48 on the right to Kansas 260 east.
There's a Love's about 12 miles up the road here. We're going to hit the scale. See what's going on with that. This thing just feels heavy. I generally try to find lighter loads. I hate maxing my truck out. This is heavy. It's okay. We don't have a whole lot of hills or anything like that on the way, so it'll be all right. Try not to overstress my truck. It's got a lot of miles on it. 734,000 miles, and the engine has a lot of hours on it because whoever had it before, I don't think ever shut it off. It seems like I remember them telling me when I bought it that this was a team truck, so it was just non-stop, but I don't know. I don't know.
Take exit 48 on the right to Kansas 260 east.
We'll get back up to 70 here once we hit the scale and get going. I hate, like, my appointment was at 2 o'clock. I was there at 12:45. It is now, what time is it? No, it's after 4 o'clock, so.
In 1/4 mile,
Like
turn
4:30,
left on
so
52nd Avenue, then take the first
That
left.
took entirely too long. Entirely too long. Let this grain hauler get around me. I'm not going to go smacking on him. Got a few miles, 12 miles to the Loves. Hit up these scales and see what goes on.
Continue on I-135.
That guy was waving, but not like a hat. I was like, not a happy wave. that's not... Detention with most of these brokers is a bit of a joke. I mean, when we're driving, we're making good money. When we sit there, man, and even if they pay you 30, 35 bucks an hour for detention, and I'm not trying to... A lot of people would love to make that much money when they go to work, but it's not the money, it's the time. Like, I have to drop this off at 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, and I'm 975 miles away, and here it is 4:30, which means it's 5:30 Eastern time, which is where I'm going. So it just takes away too much time, and now I've got to drive kind of late into the night, won't be able to find a spot to park. It's just going to be a nightmare. So we'll have to figure out and see what we're going to do. I might only drive, 4 to 5 hours tonight, which still puts me stopping at 8, 9 o'clock, which good luck finding parking then. And then do a long thrash tomorrow, because this has to be there Sunday morning, and it's the place I'm delivering to is pretty strict about appointments. It's going to an Aldi. They're awful. It'll take hours to unload this, which just sucks that I even know that, but it is what it is. Right now I'm more concerned about the weight than anything. It's not the worst thing to be heavy in Kansas and stuff because it gets windy, but we're almost across Kansas, so. The only thing I will say is the truck drives a lot better heavy. For you guys that don't drive trucks or whatever, when you're light, these things, it's a rough ride because the suspension's meant to have, 34,000 pounds sitting on it. So when it doesn't, it's a rough ride. But when you got a heavy load, it rides nice, but it stresses everything too. So we're gonna get on up here to the Loves and see what happens, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Up this morning, I stayed at a Petro in somewhere in Missouri off the 70 last night, Kingdom City, and Woke up this morning doing my pre-trip, smacking the tires, have a drive tire, totally flat. Flat as could be. That was awesome. So thankfully I stayed at the Petro. They had a tire place there. Got in line for that. I did air up the tire, and it held air for over an hour. When I got it into the shop, they pulled it off, and there was a nail right in the center of it. So made out with just a patch this time. Thank goodness. Those are very expensive. All semi tires are expensive. Those are very expensive. I'm gonna have to get a different phone holder if I'm gonna do this. That Steely one, that it moves too much. But now we have 624 miles to go. The GPS says 9 hours and 15 minutes to get there. It is. I'm gonna lose an hour once I get into Ohio or Indiana, whatever. And it's about 2:30 here now, which means it's 3:30. I drop off at 3:30 in the morning on Sunday. So tomorrow, I have about 12 hours to my drop. So knock on wood, we don't run into anything else, and I'll have plenty of time to make it. I know there'll be traffic around Indy, always. Probably some in St. Louis, always. But as long as we can make it through those two kind of unscathed, we'll be alright. I don't have anything else booked. Last time I went to an Aldi, it was terrible, and it's going to be Sunday, so probably just get unloaded and go to the truck stop. Wait for Monday morning, get us a load going somewhere else. The rates in the Midwest have been pretty good. They're kind of, I was looking at them yesterday and the day before, they were kind of down a little bit, but we'll see. Monday, see what Monday brings. We'll find something. This is going to Hinckley, Ohio. I think I've said that before, but it's over by south of Cleveland, so northeast Ohio, which isn't the best area for freight. Which I don't know why there's quite a bit of stuff around there, but a lot of stuff going into Pennsylvania. I avoid Pennsylvania at all costs, pretty much. I don't want to go there. They have a lot of DOT people in it. And I don't care, like, you can inspect my truck, whatever, my stuff's all fine, but I don't need unnecessary stuff. And Pennsylvania is full of mountains and hills, and it's just up and down. I don't go there. There's no need to go there. Same with, like, West Virginia. I don't go there. So last year I ran into the Northeast a lot, Maryland, New York. The loads coming out suck, but the ones going in were great. And I would go out there a lot, but now those loads have kind of tapered off for the rates, because if you're going into a bad area, the Northeast, Florida, Colorado, where I'm from, you have to get a great rate going in, because you're either dead heading out or getting a crappy rate and paying for the fuel on the way out. The Northeast is that there's not a lot of industry. Maryland, upstate New York, there's just not a lot that comes out of there. So, kind of a dead zone. Same thing with Florida. So, try not to go up there too much, unless the rates are great, which they're not. So, we're probably going to either take something a long haul to like Utah or Colorado or something like that, or we'll take something, which this is what I kind of hope happens. I'll take something from Ohio back to like Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, and run those loads and just stick out there for a little while, a couple of weeks. Make some money out there, because the Midwest is the best for freight. It just is. At least in my experiences. I think California has good freight coming out of it. Going there is pitiful, like horrible, and I don't want to cross the Rockies. I don't want to go to California with their ridiculous fuel prices and all their dumb laws and the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit and all this. It's just not. I'm good. Maybe in the wintertime, but not right now. So got the tire fixed, check the pressure in all the other tires. It's important when you're doing your pre-trip, you really got to check your tires. Sometimes I get out and I'll thump them. I have a tire thumper. This is really annoying. I have a tire thumper, but it's important to use an air gauge because those tires, even if there's 20 or 30 PSI in them and you hit them, they still kind of sound the same. So unless you're really experienced in it, which I'm not, just use a gauge. It might take a little longer, but it's worth it in the long run. Because sometimes if you just look at that tire when it was totally flat, you can't tell the difference. They don't sag down because there's 3 more tires around it holding everything up. So it looks full. It is not. But we're back on the road. We have time to make it. Got fuel there filled up. It was almost a terrible morning because I woke up. I didn't idle the truck last night. I woke up. Batteries were too low to run anything. Turned the truck on. And I knew when I stopped, my gauge was about 1/4 of a tank. Well, it wasn't. I woke up and it was pegged on empty. So I was like, oh my God, shut the truck off, found the flat tire, got in line at the tire shop, disconnected from the trailer, went and filled up on fuel, and got the tire fixed and we're gone. Luckily, they got it fixed quick enough to leave me enough time to make this run. The biggest problem with the whole thing was really how long it took to get loaded, because when you pick up late in the afternoon and it takes them 4 hours to load you, really about 2.5 from my appointment time, but I was the only truck there. But it takes them so long to load you and you get such a late start, you take off driving. I drove till, I don't even know what time it was last night, 10:30, 11, something like that. And you got to try to find a place to park. Luckily, there's some truck stops. Petros are usually pretty good because they have huge parking lots, and there was a ton of parking when I pulled in there last night, so that was good. So as long as we don't run into any other serious delays here, everything will be all right. Excuse me. We'll just get up the road here and I'll talk to you guys